Hey, what's up everyone? So today we'll discuss on the PDL. Okay, so we have few questions in PDL, and if you are new to PDL, then you can watch this video till the end. So to understand, better on these concepts. So if you are, if you know already about PDL, then you can, directly switch to the intro questions. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, then you can click on the above link. You can find, complete playlist on the intro questions, and then if you have any intro questions to be discussed, please, send your questions to this mail ID. Okay, so we'll just get started today. So to get started, PDL, I think you must know about this abbreviation. Okay, so it's a parameter, definition language. So all the concepts and then core details will be available in this site. Okay, so no one can explain you better than this authorized source. So but here, like, to make to give you easy understanding on PDL, I'll just walk you through, like, by my style. Okay, so I'll just tell you some ideas and then how to crack the entry questions. Okay, so to dive deeper into this into this concept, you can log into this site. So we'll just see the concept checklist after seeing after seeing different types of PDL. Okay, so when they discuss about PDL, normally, like, when you see take any graph. Okay, so if you take any graph, you open the you open a parameter editor. Okay, so parameter set, so you'll find lot of parameters. Okay, so parameter defined there, so a lot of parameter defined there. So if you have time, you can study in your in your own project. Okay, so like, try to study in your own project. That would be a better better idea. Okay, so study in your own project. So you've got lot of parameters. Okay, you might have got all date parameters and then audit parameter, and then some complex complex logics, like, stuff inside PDL. Okay, so it's better to, like, understand and then like, see, like, in from your own sandbox. Okay, in your own project. So you can press F11 and then you can go through each parameter. Okay, so this is a basic idea. Yeah, and then like, before we dive into the entry questions, okay, you must understand, in PDL, okay, we have first one. Okay, like a normal substitution. Okay, you have a normal parameter substitution. Okay, so we'll see about that. Okay, we'll see about that with the example. Okay, no, like, no need of theory talk. Okay, so for understanding theory and to read through some paragraph, you can go into this site. Okay, so one of the type is parameter substitution. Okay, you can simply refer on other parameter. Okay, so we'll just see the example later. And the second one is, you can use a inline. Okay, you can use a inline DML expression. Okay, uh, that means, like, a predefined function. Okay, so predefined function matlab, like, in Abinitio we have a is null. Okay, and then you have a date function. Okay, and then other functions. Okay, string concat. Okay, so like that, if you want to use, you can use it by using this inlet DML. Okay, technique. Okay, so the idea is, for the okay, first I'll just cover the third one. Okay, so third one would be using the shell interpretation. Okay, so using shell expression. Okay, so for all these three things, okay, mainly for all these three things, we'll be using for using PDL. So for parameter substitution, you can use dollar. Okay, that parameter name. Okay, for example, if you're taking ID, I'll be using like this. Okay, for for inline DML substitution. Okay, for this one, you can go for dollar and then specifying in the square bracket. You can write your code here. Okay, so I'll just put a PDL code. Okay, and then you can close this bracket. Okay, so this is a inline DML thing. Okay, so I will just see that example later. Okay, so for all these three things, and then for the shell expression, same thing. Okay, use a curly bracket. You give the shell scripting. Okay, here. Okay, type your shell scripting here, and then enclose. Okay, so this is the main, like, basic things. Like, everything should be giving in the go to the F11, Okay, go to the F11 and then create a parameter and then use this logics. Okay, so whatever logic your project or your like if you think, okay, whatever business rules you think, you can code it inside this, inside this brackets. So like these are okay, so these are types. So now for to implement these types, okay, so what are the idea, like what are the knowledge, what are the concepts that you need to know like pre-hand. Okay, the first thing is parameter declaration. I think you would know. Okay, so simply writing a parameter. Okay, that one is simple, simply write. Okay, just writing a parameter, defining a parameter. Okay, defining a parameter, you know about those things. Okay, just like a constant parameter or a substitution or whatever. Okay, and then second thing is like usage of shell programming. Okay, so you have to know how to do shell scripting. Okay, and then you have to know the Abinitio uh, uh, predefined function as well. Okay, for for mainly predefined Abinitio functions. Okay, so like is null, string, concat, and then date function. You have date time as well. Okay, date add function like that. Okay, so these three. Okay, so I'll just mark it. Okay, so these three are main important. Okay, uh, for for constructing this PDL. So these are the highlight points. Okay, so this is more than enough for you to consider, for you to understand and construct the PDL. Okay, so like where exactly like this PDL is getting used. Okay, so that one we can call it as application. Okay, applications. So mainly mainly in meta programming, and then contact ID. Okay, so you have plans. So I think those of you like whoever like who have got experience in plans, they might know. Okay, so if you open any plan, okay, if you open any plan, you know that by default you have interpretation method. Okay, we call it as some interpretation method, right? Interpretation method will be will be pointing to PDF. Okay, so if you didn't notice that, like you can go and check. Okay, so by default you have interpretation PDF, like okay, in quantitative plans. Okay, so for the mainly for these two applications, okay, will be like you'll be seeing a lot of PDFs, okay, handled in your project. So either in plans or in metabolo or like in normal graph. Okay, like even if you have normal Excel sheet or normal flat file graph, you can use you can use multiple like so any one of this type. Okay, so this is the main idea. Okay, I think I hope you understand. Like let's go to the interview questions. So we'll just cover like one by one. Okay, so I have three questions here. Okay, so first one would be the construct a simple parameter reference. Okay, so that's the ask here. Okay, so what you should do, go to F11. Okay, and then declare write on parameter. Okay, that's it. Write a parameter. Okay, like define a parameter. That's it. Okay, so what we can do is that uh, I'll just declare some param. Okay, uh, something. Okay, some okay, something 8. Okay, so here I'll just refer that parameter. Okay, so I'm just putting result. Okay, I'm just calling that parameter. Okay, so while doing that you have multiple types. Okay, so I'm just referencing. Okay, so while doing that you have escaping. Okay, escape thing. Okay, um, you have alternative declare substitution. Okay, you have many many types in this one. Okay, you can study in this site. Okay, because like there are like not there are not like those won't be this is not a big big type of questions. Okay, so you should understand like more into how to write a logic. Okay, rather than referencing this parameter. Okay, so they'll be discussing on the for example they'll be discussing on like double quote. Okay, so what happens if you use a double quote? Okay, like this. So what output will you get? Will you get a like this or just a? Okay, like that. So like so for understanding this double quotation and then this thing, you can just log into the double side. Okay, so for now let's discuss in simple terms. Okay, so first one is over. So this one is fine, and then this result will have a value called like hey. Okay, so this will have output call like output name hey. Okay, so that's it. So this one is done. So second one, we'll just go for so first one comes under the category type 1. So this type 1 parameter substitution. Okay, okay, parameter substitution. So second one like comes under the second type, inline daemon. Okay, so wherein like we have this one is this one is a TCS question. Okay, so I'll just mark it here. So it's inline type. Okay, inline daemon type, and then you have predefined type. Okay, so it's a TCS one. So and then we'll just see how to code. Okay, so what's the ask here? We need to consider a parameter which calculates the previous date. Okay, so for this you should understand the available date functions. Okay, for that first we'll calculate the current date. Okay, so current date. So current date. So everything like you'll be pointing to open the parameter set. Okay, open the parameter set window, and then create one parameter current date. Okay, make sure this one is this interpretation is PDL. Okay, given as PDL. We'll just write the code here. Okay, so as we discussed in the second point. Okay, for the predefined function you have okay, you have dollar and then square bracket. Okay, you have to use that. So dollar square bracket, and then here like we have to write the logic. Okay, so I'll just find out today's date. Okay, mmtt. Okay, this one, and then you have now function. Okay, so this one. Okay, so I'll just so to be in a safer side, I'll just use a bracket. Okay, so this one will result you okay 2025. Okay, 08/28. Okay, today's date. So now we'll find out previous date. Okay, so for this, okay, what we can do is that we have a we have a Abinitio function. Okay, you have a date time add. Okay, so to use that I'll just use the same thing. Okay, since we are discussing on the inline daemon, so I'm using the same bracket. Okay, so I'll just go for the date time add function. Okay, date time add. Okay, so here I'll just make a reference to this parameter. Okay, I'll just call this parameter. Okay, so what I'll be doing is that I'll just call this today's date, and then I'll do -1. Okay, if you understand this datetime add function. If you don't understand this one, and then you can study it in there. Okay, so here I'll just give current date. I don't have to mention dollar. Okay, so I can directly drag that here, and then my comma -1. Okay, so that, so this. Okay, so what in what format? Okay, so this will give you, so we have to get it in this format. Okay, so I'll just write it here. Yeah, that's it. So this one, this code will give you a previous date. So that would be 2025 08/27. Okay, that's it. So this one is done. So it's a simple simple PDL scenario. And then third we have one one real case. Okay, real project. If you have worked in project, you might have known this use case. So here the ask is you have to consider a flag parameter. Okay, so basically that the recruiter is telling he has a subgraph. Okay, he has a subgraph where in condition tab. So in your like in your in your subgraph you have a condition tab, right? So in the condition tab, so he's telling like he has declared in on yes, he is calling one flag parameter. Okay, so maybe I think that is resulting in either 0 or 1. Okay, so that means either false or 0. Okay, so if it is false, your subgraph won't be running. Okay, so that will determine your subgraph will be inactive or active. Okay, while running, while the graph is running. Okay, so while the graph is running, your subgraph will be determined by this flag parameter. So now the thing is, so this is a this is a actual runtime okay conceptual thing. Okay, so now we have to construct a flag parameter. Okay, so we have to design the parameter based on the presence of input file. Okay, so might be according to the business rule. Okay, according to the business, maybe I think in this subgraph they might have like they used some some input file, some transformations. Okay, so to make this subgraph active, okay, to make this subgraph active, like input file must be present. Okay, so only if the input file is present, then the subgraph can run. Okay, otherwise like it's no, like no, it's a waste of, the graph will fail. Okay, it won't find the file and then graph will fail. Okay, so to be on the safe side, like they are declaring the conditions. Okay, so now it's our responsibility to to write a PDL. Okay, so like we'll write a PDL. Okay, so based on the input file arrival. Okay, so for that, okay, open F11. Okay, and then give we need for, see, for the finding the, okay, for checking on that input file presence, like we need two things. Okay, you need to know about the directory. Okay, so that one will be source path. Okay, so this, I think this would be, I think you can call AI serial location. Okay, so and then you need to know about file name. Okay, so I'll just consider as a input file. Okay, input file. So just take it as a loan dot dat. Okay, and then here we'll just construct a flag parameter. I think these two are enough. Okay, for now. So we'll just write the PDL code for this one. Okay, for this use case. Since it involves checking the file in the backend, we can straightly go for shell expression. Okay, you need to know how to write the shell script. You will go for this method. Okay, dollar, and then you have a round bracket. Okay, for shell expression you should give a round bracket. Okay, I think I mistakenly said about usage of curly. So here I think it's supposed to be round. Okay, and then the for parameter substitution you should have curly. Okay, okay, so let's move to the solver. Okay, so we'll be using round round bracket. Here we'll just check, okay, whether this file is present or not. So if I'll just write a code. Okay, so hyphen f, I think you might have known about hyphen f, hyphen z in the shell scripting. So I'll just declare, I'll just find. Okay, I'm going to find whether the file is there or not. Input file. Okay, so if this one, okay, then okay, so here if this is true. Okay, so if the file is if the file is not present. Okay, so we have used to not. Okay, so if the file is not present, then I'm just echoing, okay, 0. Okay, so otherwise else I'm just printing as 1. Okay, so and then you have to end this if loop. Okay, so I'll just go for fc. Okay, so this one, so that's it. So this is entire code for your this use case. Now which is again an interview question. Okay, so like this. Okay, so this is simple. Okay, so whatever we discussed in this video, so all those 3 PDFs are simple one. Okay, so in future, like we may construct one complex one depending on the interview questions. Okay, so if you have any interview questions, any complex complex meta programming or any PDL phase, you just mail to that mail the questions to that mail ID. Okay, so we'll just check and then we'll just construct that PDL, and then we'll just come, like we'll just see in the later video. Okay, so we'll just see like if there's any complex there's one another scenario, so which I will discuss in the later video. Okay, so for now I just want to provide a basic basic scenario with the interview questions. Okay, basic simple PDL with the interview questions. So make a note of this and then please try it in your GDE and then practice this. Okay, so understand that, and then if you like, if you have any theory, if you want any theory knowledge or theory reference, you can go to this site and then you can study anytime. Okay.